About 400,000 Oklahomans use propane in their homes. This winter, they've watched as propane prices reached record highs, above $4 a gallon. The high prices have put people who rely on propane in a real squeeze. I talked to Stateimpact Oklahoma's Logan Layden about the propane crisis. Logan, the high price of propane has forced people to make some difficult choices.
That's absolutely right. We talked, for my story, I talked to a guy that lives just outside of Tulsa who refused to fill his propane tank up until the prices dropped significantly, and that's meant some pretty chilly nights. Now, he and his family were able to handle it pretty well by putting their dogs on the bed and things like that. But we've heard lots of stories of other people. At one point, state Democrats in the legislature were calling for rainy day fund money to be used to help propane users, and talking during a press conference, hearing them talk about constituents who were heating their homes with their ovens and things like that. So yes, it got extremely bad.
Why has the price been so high?
It's an interesting story, and it really goes back to the Japanese earthquake a few years ago that shut down Fukushima nuclear power plant over there, and they started moving away from nuclear in general after that. At the same time that was going on, production of natural gas, oil in the United States was skyrocketing, especially in the middle of the country. And so propane prices dropped really low in the United States, under $1, while they were higher overseas. And so we had pipelines that used to take propane from the Gulf Coast refineries north into the Midwest. Since the Midwest had so much already, those pipelines started to change directions. Companies started moving propane more to the south to get to the export market. And so what happened was, after that was set up, you had the huge winter storms this winter and also a very wet corn crop, which propane is used to run the heaters to dry the corn crop. All of this came together to make prices, well over $4 a gallon across the United States, which is blows through all the records.
So it was a perfect storm.
And
not really because of a shortage.
No, we have lots of propane. It just wasn't where we needed it to be at the time, and changing the flows in those pipelines back to how they were, before 2013 isn't easy. You don't just run out to the field and flip a switch.
Did anyone see this coming?
Not really, not from what I gather. The price got so high. No one could have foreseen, I guess, that there were that bad of winter storms, that many of them right in a row, in combination with how wet the corn crop was. It all came together. And no, $5 a gallon or so propane prices, that's not good for anybody, customer to propane business owner. So.
What has the state done to help?
The state, Governor Fallon, she relaxed some of the rules around the amount of hours that propane truck drivers could drive. Also, we had $2 million come in from the federal government to help with home heating assistance. Governor Fallon made sure that the propane users were kind of at the front of the line for that money. And as I mentioned, some Democrats in the state legislature were calling for the governor to use rainy day fund money for this. That hasn't happened, and we're seeing temperatures start to warm up a bit and the problem start to correct itself some. So.
Is this likely to be the new normal?
That's not what I gather from the experts that I talked to. Everyone expects that thinks that this was a once-in-a-generation type of thing. But, we don't know. No one can predict the future.
Logan Layden from Stateimpact Oklahoma, thank you as always.
Thank you.